Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Today, I want to talk about a Colin Powell, if you remember him. Uh, and why do I want to talk about Colin Powell? Is because he's revered as a hero, as a hero here in the United States by the politicians, and that's the official dogma here. Colin Powell, a, he remained a hero. I just stumbled over some pieces of information regarding this Colin Powell, who died in 2019, I think, of COVID-related complications. I think he had cancer or something, and with COVID. So we know that in 1993, Colin Powell went in front of the United Nations Security Council and he presented some facts from the intelligence sources showing that the Saddam Hussein and Iraq possessed chemical weapons and weapons of mass destruction and on mobile facilities that were producing this. So they have factories that were on wheels and they were changing their location. So if I would like to verify what the CIA reported, and I would go to the point A, I would not find the factory over there, the lab, because the lab was on wheel and moved, changed its location. So then, if I would look in a different location, when CIA would tell us that's where they found the lab again, I wouldn't find it again because they moved. So they were very smart, these Iraqis and Saddam. So based on all those pieces of information in front of United Nations Security Council, the United States invaded with its ally Iraq. Now there were a lot of after that, not even after that, even then it was known that those CIA and other so-called intelligence sources were lying, making up stuff. So he showed up over there. He lied as well, and I will read you a few excerpts from some articles here or about that big lie. So he said, lie after lie. This comes from the Intercept. Lie after lie. What Colin Powell knew about Iraq and what he told the United Nations. The evidence is irrefutable. Powell consciously deceived the world in his 2003, I'm sorry, no, I don't know if I said 1993, but it's 2003 presentation making the case for war with Saddam Hussein. Then we have here, it says here that Colin Powell was a war criminal who lied to the United Nations and the Congress about Saddam Hussein possessing weapons of mass destruction, a lie that cost the lives of over 1 million Iraqis. So that invasion, based on fabricated intelligence reports, killed 1 million, over 1 million Iraqis. I know that there was a report stating that due to the embargo before the invasion started, more than 500,000 Iraqi children died of starvation and medical related reasons. At which, at that time, Secretary of State Madeleine Albright, check her out, said on a 60 Minutes interview, that's a small price to pay for the Iraqi people. Small price to pay. More than 500,000 children. Now, if that's not a criminal, I don't know what she is. Was she hanged? Was she like, you know, killed by fire squad, by anything? No, she's revered as a strong woman and, former Secretary of State, and she's fantastic. And that was her comment regarding dying more than 500,000 children. children, not even population. So you say, okay, they bombed the population, whomever bombed the population or something, like the Russians bombed the population, which they don't as of now. I didn't find reports on that of Kiev or no. But she said it's a small price to pay. 500,000 people. What the hell? I mean, they don't compare with the 6 million, so why would that matter, right? And besides, they're Iraqis, right? Madeleine Albright. All right, next it says here when Colin Powell spoke before the United Nations Security Council, it was by then by then widely understood that Iraq had played no role in the September 11 attacks, nor did it possesses weapons of mass destruction. The New York Times. The New York Times. So when this guy, this liar, this criminal of war criminal, came in front of the United States UN Security Council, it was already known that there were lies regarding the September 11. They didn't play a role, and they didn't possess a weapon of mass destruction. But nevertheless, they went and killed people. Uh, and he says nearly all the intelligence Colin Powell presented to the world in his UN speech turned out to be false. The New York Times. Right? Just put this in the context with what you hear right now in the mass media regarding the incidents in Ukraine. Pretense. And it says here, this is a dilemma here, a moral dilemma. In the next thing I'm going to read, it says, and I quote, Colin Powell said this, and I'm starting quoting. But I knew I didn't have any choice, Colin Powell later said, and I'm starting quoting again. What choice did I have? He's the president, end quote, the New York Times. So he says that he didn't have any choice, and I can provide him with a few choices. One, say no. The other one, and wait for the consequences. Political career dead, probably by these guys. Second, just resign and say why. And three, just shoot yourself. No, the seppuku, the harakiri. That's how it was the old Bushido code. If you disagreed with something and you were not, your master's orders, your daimyo's order, you would uh, commit harakiri or seppuku, kill yourself in front of an audience as a protest, and then let the history uh, find the truth and rehabilitate you. But no, and I knew I didn't have any choice. What would have happened? They would have killed you? No, they would have replaced you and killed your general status and your political career and revered status that you had after that. And you were a war criminal, and we know that. But no, the guys, the owners of the truth, would not say that. They say like this, like, "Oh yeah, he knew this. Okay, what choice did I have? He's the president. Okay, that means he's the president. He gave the order. What am I supposed to do?" And now it comes in mind this dilemma. Remember when? I mean, if this is valid argument coming from Colin Powell, that what do you want? It's like an order. It was the president. He said that. What am I supposed to do? I just followed orders. That reminds me of the Nuremberg trials, and not only the Nuremberg trials, that those 1946, I think it was, right? And it also remind me of each and every German officer from the Second World War who said in his defense, in his defense, that I just followed orders. This justification, explanation, was not accepted by the victors, by the Americans, by the Soviets, by the British, by the French, if you want to include the French as victors. So if this was not accepted, that they committed crimes, no, they committed crimes because of orders from superiors, that was not accepted. Yodel was hanged, Keitel was hanged, whatever. These guys, they were field marshals and so on. I'm not talking only the lower staff, all these guys, because that was unacceptable. Because you're moral conscious. That was the argument against the I just followed orders. And you find this quote in college if you go just to indict those military officers. Uh, they committed so many crimes, which was war, and they shot. And even if it was not proven that they necessarily committed, a crime, just being a soldier, doing his job, but under his orders, the enemies, which were the Americans or the Soviets or the whoever, the Australians, the Canadians, the British soldiers, they died. That was unacceptable. You couldn't justify your military order that you received as justification for applying those following those orders. And the idea was the counter argument, which I'm posing to this guy here. Why didn't you resign? Oh, it would have been a you would be court-martialed and killed on the spot, because that meant betrayal, and it would be you're deserter, because you're a deserter and not following order during a situation like this. You immediately would be shot. I don't think even if you would court-martialed. So what about this guy, who we can put on his back about 1 million people that died because of him, because he went and lied, convinced, which he didn't, other people and started a war, right? He was part of the whole team, like Yodel or like Keitel or like Goering, the same thing. Goering did not have anything to do with concentration camps or Yodel or Keitel. Nothing. They were just soldiers following orders or being part of the team, like Colin Powell, making the orders, creating the strategy. And they all hanged. Hanged. Goering, no, he ditched it. He killed himself. But the other, and this guy, we just take it as face value. What choice did I have? He's the president. I just gave you at least 3 or 4. Let yourself be killed by the secret services, the thugs. All right. So you see how if they like someone, they interpret his actions with a certain set of rules, and if they don't like someone, they interpret his actions using a different set of rules, even though the actions are similar, very, very similar. Just the names and the numbers are different, and maybe the years. Um, and we should not forget that Colin Powell was not involved only in the death of the attack on Iraq and killing at least 1 million people, Iraqis. I know that here I find some more. It says here that Colin Powell was also involved in Salvador. I think it was 1989 when he was one of the leading generals arming, training, and protecting first Salvadorian military and death squads responsible for slaughtering 75 to 80,000 people. He did so through the war. Duarte was the bloodiest of Salvadorian press. So here we have him, and I have some more information here. He said, when the offensive of 1989 made clear that the Salvadorian military could not defeat the FMLN guerrillas, then chairman of George H. Herbert W. Bush, Joint Chief of Staff Powell, threatened U.S. military intervention in Salvador, independent country, free country. Had a little internal problem, and this guy wanted to attack a sovereign country. Is that the mind of a keep piecing, peacekeeping? Keep piecing, yeah, keep piecing. Powell and other people. Peacekeeping oriented mind, peacemaking? I don't think so. I mean, however you want to take it, these are facts. I know that sometimes details might change or alleviate the whole perspective and say, oh, yeah, but there's this. The fact is, he did what I just said he did, or wanted to do. And it says here, Paul also led the invasion of Panama, which left countless mostly poor and black Panamanians dead. So in Panama, again, I don't remember Panama being a U.S. state, and he led the invasion. Powell, very, very big general. And can you tell me where the Panama is? Just because it's the Panama Channel, maybe that's where you kind of know where it is. I'm telling you, this is how big Panama is, invaded by the U.S. Army. So Americans took on Iraq, what, 20 million people? They took on Libya, the same kind of number. They took on Panama, maybe 3 people, 2 goats, and 5, I don't know, fleas. Big general, this guy. And the same with Honduras or whatever that was. It says here, continue, and BBC. Colin Powell was assigned to investigate um, reinforced allegations of a massacre at My Lai or My Li in March 1969 Vietnam War, in which US soldiers killed hundreds of civilians, including children. So he was assigned to investigate the new allegations that came about that massacre. And you know what he did? You can guess, right? He didn't find anything. Powell's conclusion was this by the BBC. And direct refutation of this portrayal, relations between American soldiers and the Vietnamese people were excellent. Few in the face of growing evidence of brutal treatment of civilians by US forces. I'm sorry. Vietnamese people are excellent. Flew in the face of growing evidence of brutal treatment of civilians by US forces. BBC, who are, I know, your friends, the ones who BBC are all revered in the United States. It's like almost the voice of God. God is here and he's BBC and a bunch of liars. And say, by the way, it's a state-owned mass media outlet like Russia Today, like PBS, like I don't know, the Nazis had. But no, no, these are good outlets because they are our friends. If tomorrow um, Great Britain or England goes the wrong way, then BBC is going to turn immediately as the propaganda machine will be called propaganda machine of the British Empire who wants its empire back overnight from friends to uh, enemies, foes. It says here he was later accused of whitewashing. That's not right. Whitewashing, I think it's a racist term here. The news of the massacre, details of which became fully public in 1970. So that means he lied again. That's why his career went out, besides other qualities that did not depend on him, of his abilities. So, what do you say about this, Powell? Um, no? Colin Powell's shameful role in the US propaganda campaign to justify its invasion of Iraq is well known, but that's less spoken about is that he facilitated, covered up, and justified US war crimes in Vietnam, including the notorious My Lai massacre. That's a general. Now that's a general. So he just followed orders. So if we use here this excuse as acceptable, in his case, we should accept Jodl, Keitel, Goering, and other people other German military officers who were killed through mock trials and on the spot for their military actions. I'm not talking about uh, concentration camps and things like this. No, they didn't have anything to do with that. It's just that they beat the shit out of their enemies, and it was their crime. That's all. There were some of them good, some of them bad in their military, tactics and so on. Um, that's it. With I just want to be objective, and you say here in America balanced in reporting. So let's be balanced. I mean, right? So Colin Powell, criminal. Let's put it in your brain memory. Stay strong, smart, look for the truth, and do justice, or at least speak up. See you next time. Ciao.